We found that in the executive education space around AI, there's generally a bit of a missing middle at the moment, like a competency gap, you could call it, where there is a lot of programs out there that are going to give you high-level strategy for disruption, navigating change, managing change kind of workshops. But they're very high level, they're very abstract. You often walk away from workshops like that feeling like you have learned a great deal without actually knowing in the details, okay, so now what do you do about your AI adoption roadmap? In a typical program, we're going to spend a little bit of time applying really the lens of an economist to think about what are product offerings in my competitive landscape going to look like and what new opportunities are going to emerge if I lean into the AI opportunities, let's say harder than my competitors. One thing that we've done at Ivey here with our program is find a balance between actually talking about the high-level challenges and how AI is going to change the relative abundance of scarcity of different products in different markets and what that means for our business models, not from an operational point of view, but more just from a, how is this going to affect existing business modes and business models perspective, but then also talking about the nitty-gritty of, well, how do you go from the high-level conversation of the potential of the technology to the granular conversation of how do you think about that transition from licenses for everyone to building out automated workflows through the API key, especially if you don't have software engineers on staff. It's quite a multifaceted program. It's still a strategy for AI workshop, which means we still spend a decent amount of time talking about strategy for a world that is going to be heavily disrupted by AI. But increasingly, we've started leaning in this program a little bit more into this going from adoption to adaptation conversation, finding that pathway or finding that roadmap of how do you go from everyone who needs to be comfortable with AI being comfortable in the organization to people really understanding what processes really lend themselves to full automation. Someone in the organization needs to develop an understanding of, can we run this with GPT 5.1 instead of GPT 5.5, let's say, for argument's sake. Understanding those costing differences and making those decisions is going to take someone in the organization. And that might be a COO, it might be the CEO, it might be the CFO, to really engage with that technology and know enough to be able to articulate those trade-offs.